thing is hard, right? And that's why I'm bringing it up, because I know that's how I've been in that situation before. I know it's harder, easier said than done. At this age, I can make that, but at that age, it's hard. It's like you feel like you're indebted to people. But we want y'all to know the reason I went further on that, like, separate yourself, man. Your environment is everything, right? The people you hang around, like, you have to identify. That's what he said. You have to identify what you want. And if the people you're around don't align with what you want, you got to get them away from it. Like, that has to be mandatory, right? Because, again, birds of a feather flock together. If somebody is doing negative and you think you can be associated with them and not be associated as negative, you're wrong. Because if he do negative, you hang with him, I'm already thinking, oh, y'all on the same type of time, because that's your homeboy. What's up, family? We are live at our 2026 summer draft. We got an audience and our family in the back. Y'all round of applause, please, so they can hear me. All right. So what we doing tonight? Well, we have 8 to 10 young boys here tonight, and they're going to be taking the opportunity of a lifetime. They're getting drafted into our summer 2026 summer program, which is a big deal. There's a lot of people who try to get into this program, man, and it's limited. We only have 25 slots. So the young man in this room tonight, they earned that position, right? So another round of applause for them. All right. So to the right of me, I have a guest, Mr. Natrell Jamerson. He's going to be able to come up here and give some game to the boys. When we say game, guidance, attention, motivation, and education, he's going to be giving a word because he's a young man that's done great things. Graduated from Vanguard High School, went to the Wisconsin to the Badgers in 5th round of the NFL draft. And a lot of us dreamed of those things, man. So I wanted you to come up to get these boys some games because a lot of them hope, like that's their hope, that they go to a professional league for some of them. But we want them to understand that it's bigger than that, right? So I believe this opportunity right here is bigger than that. Like, I believe them walking on this stage today is bigger than them if they ever walked on the NFL or NBA draft stadium, right? Because what they're going to learn from this experience is going to take them from a lifetime, right? So when you went to the NFL, when you was part of that cohort, right, you was 1% of the world, like 1% of people. Our mission is to guide young men to own their greatness. Please tell me, what does it take to be great?
Determination, dedication, focus, all those things that your parents are instilling into y'all. That's what make y'all getting drafted tonight. That's what brought y'all here. So doing the small things that nobody else is doing, that's what you got to keep doing, just to be that 1%. So when nobody's looking, you still got to do the right things. When you don't want to, you still got to do the right things. So those are the big things to contribute to that 1% of the population.
I like it. When you think about, so all of us, like we from Ocala, right? There's so many great athletes, bro. There's so many great athletes. There's so many people that have a special talent that didn't make it to the NFL, right? I'm pretty sure you can name somebody you probably played with that was more talented than you, that have more athleticism than you, but they didn't make it. What separated you, right? What has separated you from everybody else that allowing you to go to the league?
A lot of time it was, like I just said, doing the things that nobody else wanted to do. Man, every single day in high school, from freshman year to senior year, I was the first one at school on campus. We're doing workouts 6:30 in the morning before anybody else is in school. And same thing after school. You know what I'm saying? I'm after school for practice. Practice over with. I'm still working out, doing drills or whatever the case may be. But you know what I'm saying? I just took a lot of the small steps to kind of separate myself from everybody else because I knew, you know what I'm saying? I always want to do it. You know, it hurt. I'm tired. I don't want to do it, but I knew those small things would separate me from everybody else.
Yeah, talk about that though. So there's not one, two, right? So we got parents in the room, right, too. So sometimes they don't want to get up and go to work, right? But they still go up, wake up and go to work. So for you, during that season of your life, like when you didn't want to, what helped you? What pushed you to still do the thing you didn't want to do?
Knowing where I wanted to go. You know what I mean? Knowing the goals that I put forth. And like I said, if it's a goal, you got to achieve it. You know what I mean? You can't just write it down and say you want to do it. Putting the action behind it, that's what makes it a goal. That's what makes it achievable. So just knowing why I'm doing it, why I'm tired. It's a privilege to be tired because I'm doing all this extra stuff. Just traveling every weekend, doing different things. I'm tired because I had the privilege to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just knowing why I wanted to do it, that's what kept me going.
That's mindset right there. So you have to have a different mindset to be able to look at things that way. And when you think about mindset is what take you to that level. Like you have to be wired a different way to be able to see things as more so of the opportunity to something a hindrance, right? Most people look at something like, dang, that's a roadblock. But it's a different mindset to say, oh, this is an opportunity. There's something in this, right? Obviously, it's stopping me, but I can look at it as a blessing. Like God stopping me from something, or he's trying to get me to see something. So when it comes to mindset, man, how have you been, like your mindset now through going through all these experiences? Like what mindset do you wake up with?
That is a privilege. Because a big thing when I was still playing, almost every single team that I played on, you know, when there's those dog days in camp where everybody tired, it's super hot, but the coach would always be yelling, it's a privilege to be out here. You know what I mean? It's a privilege to play the sport. So it's a privilege just to be out there. So just knowing that, you know what I mean, that just kind of, kept me going.
Yeah. So I just say they were chosen, right? So they got chose for this opportunity. When you got drafted, you were chosen by a team, right? So even in life, right, when you go for a job, you are chosen. What does it take, like, to be chosen? Like when you're chosen, what are people usually looking for somebody when they choose somebody?
Things that separate you from somebody else. You know what I mean? What makes you different from him? What makes you different from him? So nobody wants a robot. Nobody wants somebody who's always the same and just do everything exact every way. You know what I mean? Everybody is different. That's why everybody has different fingerprints. You know what I mean? Everybody's different. So your unique individuality, I feel like, is what makes people want to choose you for whatever that case may be.
It's funny. So we started doing this work, right? And we started get these young boys in the room, and a lot of it got to a point where it started feeling like everybody just felt like they were supposed to be, or because we called their name, like it was guaranteed, right? So we were trying to get them out of that mind. It's like nothing is guaranteed, everything is earned, like each and every day, right? So you play the sport, we play the sport that like you had to be your best self every day, or you could have lost your job, right? Like each and every day. So for the prepare, like so being prepared. So what happened if you ever showed up and wasn't prepared? Like what happened?
So like you say, you're gonna lose your job. You know what I mean? And the NFL is a lot different from the regular corporate world, but you know, it's a short string. You do one thing wrong, you might be on the line, you might be on a chopping block. So knowing that in mind, that's why you got to keep doing, like I said, the small things right all the time. And if you keep doing the small things, that can not guarantee you, but kind of give you a more high percentage that you're going to keep that privilege that you have or the job that you have. So.
Tell them about, I guess, your NFL, like in the short form, you know, when you got there, it just ain't really go the way you thought it was going to go, right? And so think about something you're working towards all your life, and then once you get to it, then like things just out of your control start happening, right? So kind of talk to them about that, and then just how you handle it, because they're going to deal with that, right? It's something in their mind they think about they're going to do right now, and it may not go that way. So how did you handle that? How would you tell them to handle a situation when it don't go their way?
Yeah, and even just with me getting drafted. So I got drafted in the 5th round, but I got cut by that same team at the end of camp. So that just goes to show you that just because you got drafted doesn't mean that you're guaranteed. That doesn't mean you're going to be there. So even with y'all being into the program, take that as a privilege because you earned it, but you got to keep earning it to keep it. So with me being cut early on, it showed me like, okay, nothing's guaranteed. I got drafted. That don't mean nothing. I still got to go out there each and every day and put my best film on film so I can make that percentage higher for me to go to a different team, and which I did. So I kept doing that. Just knowing that perseverance, that this team didn't work out here, that doesn't mean it's not gonna work out for another team. So I just didn't quit. I just kept going. Yeah.
When you go back to their age, what is something you wish you would have like just focused on, right? Just outside of football, right? You know, I speak for myself. For a while, I cared about the football. I ain't think about, so when football was over, I was lost. So for you and your shoes, what is something you wish you would have focused on outside of the game with Connor?
Not necessarily something that I wish I would have focused on, but something that I would have kind of like held on to more when I was y'all age is just being in the moment. You know what I mean? Just think of all the times when you and your friends just playing football, playing whatever sport may be, just out there having fun, just playing around. Those are times that you're going to miss when you get older, because those times are going to trickle away, and next thing you know, it's not really happening anymore. So I just wish I would have kind of held on to that childhood aspect of it, of just enjoying the game.
So taking more so like living day to day and enjoying what you have.
Yeah.
Is there anything you like when you was a child that you overlooked because you know, it's so easy to say, well, he got this, they got this down there, I wish I had it. You overlook like the blessings you have right in your house or right in your situation, right? Is there anything in your life that you feel like you overlooked, and how do you look at that now?
I wouldn't necessarily say anything that I overlooked. I would say like when I was a kid, making kid decisions, just comparing my day-to-day life to somebody else's. You know what I mean? Obviously, I don't know what they're going through when they get home. All I see is in school or in practice or whatever. So seeing somebody, they got new shoes, they got new clothes, whatever, and wondering why I might not have that. But I feel like my mom, she did a great job of like reminding us that we still we good. Like we blessed to have what we have. So it took a while to like kind of understand that, but once I understood it, I never forgot it. You know what I mean? So any little thing that I have, I cherish it because it's mine. You know what I mean? I can't love your shoes more than you do. You know what I'm saying? Those your shoes. For sure. So I just gotta embrace what you got. That's powerful.
When you think about mistakes, so a lot of them, may make mistakes and they look at us or because we mentors, like we don't make mistakes and we made a lot of the same mistakes that they probably, make or may make. When you think about your childhood, what are some mistakes that you made and that you think that they can learn from?
A lot of mistakes that I made were kind of like peer related. You know what I mean? Not necessarily that I wanted to do it, just being around the wrong people. Not that I got in a whole bunch of trouble, but if I did get in trouble for things that I did do, you know what I mean, then it'll be a lot different. But just being around the wrong people, because wrong people can influence you to do the wrong things all the time. Don't even have to be you. You might know what's right or wrong to do, but more influences kind of can deter your decision. So yeah, a lot of times I would say just being in the wrong place, the wrong people.
So we got to go a little deeper than that because I know a lot of them deal with that. I know what that feels like. So a lot of times when we grow up in certain situations, right, you feel like you indebted to somebody, right? We grew up together, right? So I feel like I have to be like, if I leave you, that make me feel like I'm selling out or I'm different, right? So, and that's probably what some of you was dealing with. So what is something, they should do if they feel that, right? Like, they're my boys, I can't not hang with my boy. Even though he's doing wrong, he's my boy. So, you know what I mean? So how can you separate yourself from that? Even though like, okay, he doing, that's not me. What is some advice you would give them if they felt, the pressure of that?
Yeah, it goes back to that mindset of knowing what you want out of life. You know what I mean? Knowing the goals that you put forward. And if you're in a situation or around people who don't align with those goals, then you just got to make the best decision for yourself to remove yourself, because you can't let somebody else stop what you want to do. So yeah, this is really that mindset of knowing what you want to do and sticking to that. But that's really gonna take you far.
And what if it's their cousin though, bro? Like, you know what I mean? What if it's my cousin? I can't, that's my mama, sister, that's my sister. Like you tell me not to hang with my cousin?
I mean, sometimes it's like that, you know what I mean? I got family members who I don't even talk to, like close family members. Same way with friends, but it comes to a point where, like I said, if it doesn't align to what I see for myself, I can still love you from a distance. I don't have to be around you all the time. So, and you can even tell them that, like, I still love you the same, but we just can't hang out like we used to.
Yeah, what that mean though? So loving people from a distance. What does that mean? Explain that to them. I don't know if their ears know what that means.
So how can I put it? So the best way is, so say if you got a friend, cousin, whatever case may be, they doing something that you not supposed to be doing. And just because they making bad decisions doesn't mean that you don't love them the same. They still your cousin, your friends. But just you can kind of put them to the side, like, hey, I still love you the same. I'm gonna let you do that, but I'm gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna separate yourself, and you gotta, your friends, your cousin, whatever the case may be. So you kind of gotta talk to them in a way that can understand. They can, just gotta make it relate to them where they can understand. So where you're not just brushing them off in a way, you know what I mean? But I can understand it's hard. It's a hard kid conversation, but
and it's hard, and that's another thing. It's hard, right? And that's why I'm bringing it up, because I know that's how I've been in that situation before. I know it's harder, easier said than done. At this age, I can make that, but at that age, it's hard. It's like you feel like you're indebted to people. But we want y'all to know the reason I went further on that. Like, separate yourself, man. Your environment is everything, right? The people you hang around, like, you have to identify. That's what he's saying. You have to identify what you want. And if the people you're around don't align with what you want, you got to get them away from it. Like, that has to be mandatory, right? Because, again, birds of a feather flock together. If somebody is doing negative and you think you can be associated with them and not be associated as negative, you're wrong. Because if he do negative, you hang with him, I'm already thinking, oh, y'all on the same type of time, because that's your homeboy. You right? So y'all have to be bigger than that. So that's why I wanted to go on that. But what's up, EL2A family, man? Come invest in the futures that are going to change the world. What you see here right now, man, we are reimagining education, right? We are giving these young boys and showing them who they are and where they're going. We're creating a school-to-career pipeline, and it's happening right here on this property, man. So let's go, EL2A fan. We're going to have a QR code that pops up. You scan that code, all right? And it's going to take you and tell you everything you need to know to come help us invest in the futures that's going to change the world. Let's go. If you can go back to their age, right, what would you do differently? If you can go back to the age they are now, middle school age.
Do differently. Pay more attention to school. Just make sure that my grades are really up to par. Not that I have bad grades, but I was a kid to where I did enough, you know what I mean? Like,
just to get by.
yeah, I did enough to get by. If I didn't get D's and F's, I was all right. But that's not a good thing. Don't settle for C's, don't settle for B's. If you know you can get an A, go ahead and get an A, because it's only gonna help you in the future.
So I think that's so what you're talking about right there, that's actually digging a little deeper, because a lot of them, that's why they're here, right? So all these right here, they can go to school and get by. You know what I mean? They can be home and get by. A lot of people choose to just get by, right? Average, just to be average, just do enough to say, so you don't overlook me, you don't bother me, right? So how does that hurt you in the long run, right? Being average.
It can hurt you in the long run, because those small traits as a kid can carry over to when you're an adult. So if you're just barely doing things to get by, you're going to do the same thing as an adult. Then you're going to find yourself in a bad position all the time. And as an adult, you don't want to do that. So it is that.
And I say the same thing. And obviously they're young men. I say this before, like, today is you not cleaning your room. Tomorrow is you not raising your son, right? It's the same thing. Like, the responsibility, it seems so small, but the responsibility is responsibility. As a man, you handle your business, no matter what it is. So if you could build a mindset of handling the little things, then the big things become easy. But if you keep letting little things pass you by, then the big things, because you built up traits of not doing those things. All right. So that's why you have to lock in on the little small details all the time. All right. So, like I said, I think this experience, right, them coming into this is bigger than a sports league, like coming into the NFL, NBA draft, them walking across this stage today, right? So again, being the earn, what do you think they need to do to be ready? Talk to them, like, what would you tell them they need to do to be ready for this experience?
I would say keep doing what y'all doing, but put a little extra on it. You know, do what got you into this draft to get you to that strong program, but just keep doing just a little more. You know you can do a little more, just do it. Because like I said, it's a privilege, and you can lose that privilege. So y'all fought to get here, fight to stay here. So just put a little extra on top of what y'all already doing to get here. Yeah.
So again, everything you've done tremendous things. I want to give you just kudos for who you are, bro, and your accomplishments, right? So many times, because we are who we are, you can overlook, like, because you just been doing what you're supposed to do, and you had God bless you to be able to do great things, right? But you reached the NFL, right? That was one of my dreams. I couldn't do it. You did it, right? So that's a big deal. So I want to give you kudos to what you've done. Now you're back in the city. Now you're doing great things. You had your transition. Talk about the transition in life, right? The transitioning from one thing to another, right? Because again, we always transition, but it's a mindset thing. So how were you able to transition from being a football player to what you do today?
I feel like the transition, it helped me because of like things I learned off the field from football. Not just a sport, but knowing how to work hard, knowing that I have to do the things that I might necessarily want to do, and transitioning to the real world it was real eye-opening seeing the people who didn't go through that because they don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, certain things I can understand, but nobody's making you do a certain job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you chose to do that job, so why are you mad that you're here? You get to work, you get to, even if it's a little bit, you still get that privilege to earn. So, yeah, man, like, just the small traits that I learned off of the field from football, I feel like it helped me transition to the real world, because like I said, it's a lot different from being on a certain schedule every single day since I was 18 years old, and now I wake up on my own, gotta do my thing, gotta make money to pay the bills, you know what I'm saying? So, and it helped me because I'm doing what I love. Like, I can't sit in the office, and for anybody who doesn't know, I'm a personal trainer, so that kind of correlated from me playing football into training people to still work out, be healthy and all that type of stuff. So finding something that I still love to do outside of the game of football made that a whole lot easier than just waking up and punching in the clock.
Yeah, I love it, man. So round of applause from Trell, everybody, round of applause. Like, so I'm gonna give you last word. So we're gonna have any questions, and parents, boys, anybody can ask questions after this, but last word, and this just for you, like, just free game, man. What if it's the last thing you could talk to some little boys and young boys and tell them, what would you say? The floor is yours.
I would say stay in the moment, enjoy it. You're a kid, you don't really got too much responsibility from, you know what I'm saying, taking care of your school, make sure all your academics is right. So enjoy being a kid, because once you get older, you gotta do things that you might not want to do. So embrace that, embrace your friends, you know, enjoy the time that y'all have together. And keep that, like you said, this draft is bigger than, like, if you get to the NFL draft, because the lesson that you're going to learn here, that's going to carry you to into life, because those are life lessons that you're really gonna need. You don't need to run a football fast as you can, but you can learn how to be disciplined in your everyday life. So I would say take the lesson that y'all learned here and carry them on through life.
Like a look. All right. Questions. Yeah, round of applause. Go ahead. Round of applause. All right. Questions. Somebody, come on. Let me get some questions from at least 1, 2, 3, maybe 3. You got one?
I played so I got drafted to the Saints, played for the Texans, played for the Packers, played for the Panthers, Jets, and Giants.
Bunch of
I played DB, corner, safety, and nickel. Yes, sir. That's a deep one. The hardest transition was, for me, it was like making my own schedule. Like I said, from the time I was 18 up until 27 years old, I've been doing the same thing. So now in the real world, gotta wake up, go to work. Then after that, it's like, okay, what I do now? I don't have anything to do. And so when I retired, I had probably a couple months off where I didn't do anything. I was just, I just go to work out, come back home. So during that time, that's when I really kind of found myself in what I wanted to do. Because like I said, I wake up every day and don't know what to do with the rest of my day. So that's when I just decided to transition to personal training, because I love to work out. That was one thing that I was still doing every single day. I was doing that. But as far as anything else, I didn't know. So I just figured out how to make a living doing that. So that's what I did.
So talk to him, I think, too, and I'll get to you be next. But just talk about that moment. So like you say, it was a couple of times like you were just in the crib, right? And I think that's a big thing that we can't overlook. Like during that time, what was happening? You in the crib, you pretty much lost. You're trying to figure life out at that moment. Like what do you think was going through your mind at that time?
Everything, man, from things that I wish I could have did better, things that I wish could have, it's all the what ifs, you know what I mean? So like I said, I probably took 2 or 3 months where I just didn't do anything, you know what I mean? I was living by myself, just me and my dog. So I wake up, take him out, go work out, then I got 18 hours I don't know what to do with.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It was a lot of times where I would just sit there thinking, no music, no TV, no nothing, just silence, just in my thoughts. And some days were harder than others, but I feel like I needed those days to make myself realize what I wanted to do.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So when I initially retired from playing football, I was still living in Atlanta. So I stayed out there for about 2 years before I came back down here. And during that time, I was doing my training. And I like the city of Atlanta, but I'm not from there. And I'm big on family. I'm big on my community, people that I grew up around. So, and I saw the impact that I was having up there, but I felt like I wanted that impact here. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing to help out a city that you don't really have any ties to, but people in that community kind of draw themselves to you. But I feel like at least for me, it was a lot different from having that from my community. You know what I mean? And helping out the people who I can kind of see that direct impact from. And things like this. Soon as Jamie texted me, I didn't care what it was, I said, yeah, already. I knew I was gonna be here. And right now, like I said, I'm doing the personal training, and I have a few things that I got planned coming up later this year around holiday times. So I try to get myself back into the community as much as I can with whatever that my time allows. But doing things like this, I love doing this. So just so I can help out, any way I can.
Any other question? We're all good. And I want to say, even answer that question. So giving back, I think, I know. So what he does as personal training, that's giving back as well. I think making our community more healthy. They do a lot of things on Saturday, which I call Sweat Squad or something.
Yeah, so every Saturday at 8 in the morning, we got Saturday Sweat Squad. I work at a gym called KB Fitness. It's right down 25th on the corner of 17th Street, right next to the Daryl's Diner. And on Saturdays, every morning, we do a group class. It's only an hour long. It's not that bad. Y'all can do it. So just come out. So I really want more of my community to come out there.
People.
What he said. So yeah, so I really want more of us out there because, like I said, I love what I do. I love the people who I train now, but I still want to help out my community now. And I know that that the fitness working out aspect can kind of be a little intimidating to some people, but I promise it's not that bad. You just gotta try it. Just try it.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Clap it up for y'all, Trell.
All right, we go.